Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, we will explore the workflow view in JS7 Job Cockpit. We'll see how workflow view allow users to monitor workflows, identify orders being processed, and add orders on demand, perform operation on workflows, jobs, and orders, review execution history, and use filters and search. Moving ahead, let's log in into Job Cockpit. Here I am using the root account with the password root. After logging in, the dashboard view is displayed. To monitor workflow, click the Workflow tab from the main navigation menu. Workflow view offers the monitoring and control of workflow. User can identify orders being processed for specific workflows. User can add orders to workflows on demand. Such orders are not added to the daily plan, but are ad hoc orders. Workflow view provides a tactical view that allows users monitor processing and perform intervention when required. So far, we have understood the purpose of the workflow view. Now, let's explore the workflow view. In the upper left corner, we can see the title workflows. Next to the title is the context help icon. Clicking this icon provides additional information about workflow view and the links to the product knowledge base for more detailed documentation. Workflow view is organized into three main sections. The navigational panel on the left, then workflow panel in the center, and the history panel at the bottom. Now let's look at each section in detail. The navigation panel allows us to locate workflows quickly. Here we can browse workflows by folder. If we hover over a folder, a chevron icon appears. Clicking it expands the folder and displays the workflow from the selected folder and all of its subfolder. Clicking the collapse icon returns the view to the current folder only. Now let's move to the workflow panel. This is the main area where workflows are monitored. At the top, we can see the order summary. The summary displays the total number of orders across all workflows grouped by their current state, such as pending, scheduled, in progress, running, suspended, waiting, failed, successful, etc. If you click one of these numbers, a pop-up displays the list of orders that are currently in the selected state. Below the summary, each row represents a workflow. The workflow name. For every workflow, you can see the workflow name, the deployment date, the deployment status, and the number of related orders. Clicking the workflow name opens its execution history in the history panel and at the bottom of the page. Let's click the workflow name. Notice that the history panel is now displayed in the lower part of the screen. Each workflow row also provides several action shortcuts. The large expand and collapse icon display or hide all jobs and workflow instructions in the workflow. Let's expand the workflow. Now every job and workflow instruction is visible. The small expand and collapse icon display or hide only the top level jobs and workflow instruction. This helps you focus on the workflow structure while monitoring where orders are currently executing. Next is the Add Order icon. Clicking this icon lets you add a new order for immediate or scheduled execution. The dialog provides many options for creating an order. To learn about all available settings, you can either watch the dedicated context help video or click the information icon to open the context help documentation. Now coming to graphical view. Graphical view icon opens the workflow in the graphical editor. This view provides a visual representation of workflow execution, making it easy to follow the path of running orders. Next is tabular view. This view displays the same workflow in a compact table format, which is useful for large workflows. Next we have the pencil icon. Clicking this icon navigates to the workflow configuration, where the workflow can be edited. Finally, the More Action menu provides quick access to these actions from a single menu. If the workflow is expanded, an additional job history icon is displayed next to each job. Clicking this icon opens the job history sub-tab in the history panel, where you can review the execution history of the selected job. You will also notice that the job label, if configured, is displayed in the bracket next to the job name. Let's understand more about deployment date. This indicates when the workflow was deployed. Let's now talk about deployment status. This indicates whether the workflow is deployed to the controller and agent. There are 4 possible states. Synchronized. The workflow is deployed and available with the controller and agent. Not synchronized. The workflow is available only in the inventory and has not been deployed to the controller and agent. Suspended. The workflow is frozen. It accepts order but does not allow orders to start until the workflow is resumed. Outstanding. This state means the workflow is waiting for confirmation from one or more agent that the workflow has been suspended or resumed. Now let's look at operations on workflow. At the top of the workflow view, we find the workflow operation button. The first operation is suspend all. Let's click suspend all. Suspend all acts as an emergency stop and suspends all workflow regardless of the currently displayed selection of workflow. When a workflow is suspended, it is frozen. It continues to accept order, but it will not allow orders to start until the workflow is resumed. If an order is already running, it completes the current job or workflow instruction before it is suspended. Now let's resume all workflow. Click Resume All. Resume All resumes all suspended workflows regardless of the currently displayed selection. Notice that workflow status changes back and new orders can start processing again. I am not resuming and suspending the workflow here in the example, but if you want, you can try in your environment. Next, let's look at operations on jobs and workflow instructions. To demonstrate these operations, first expand a workflow using arrow down icon. Now, the individual jobs and workflow instructions are displayed. Each job provides its own action menu. Let's open it. The following operations are available. Skip job. Let's begin with skip job. Skip job prevents an order from executing the related job and makes it proceed with the next workflow instruction. Notice that when an order reaches this job, it immediately continues with the next instruction. The skip job is not executed and no return variables are created from the job. Operation to skip execution applies to any available version of the workflow that holds the skip job. Skip status is indicated directly on the job. Unskipped job reverts a previously skipped job. Job is now executed normally when an order reaches it. Stop job is another option. This lets job stop and it creates a breakpoint in the workflow. When an incoming order reaches this job, order is put to the suspended state. Unlike skip job, the job is not bypassed. Instead, processing pause at this job until the order is resumed. This operation applies only to the version of the workflow for which stop operation is performed. The stop status is displayed on the job. If the job should no longer stop incoming orders, open the action menu again, click Unstop Job. Unstop job reverts a previously stopped job. New order reaching this job continue processing normally. Now let's briefly discuss the outstanding status of a workflow. Status operation on jobs can affect multiple agents. If one or more agents assigned to a job in a workflow are not accessible to the controller, the status operation becomes outstanding. The controller forwards the operation to those agents as soon as they become available again. Until every agent confirms the operation, the workflow remains in the outstanding status. Now moving ahead, let's understand the precedence of status operation on workflows and jobs. Here we will understand what happens if multiple status operations are applied at the same time. For example, imagine a job is stopped, a workflow is suspended, and another job is skipped. Which operation takes priority? Precedence is as follows. The stop job operation has highest precedence. If an order reaches a stop job, order is suspended immediately, even if the workflow is also suspended. Next comes suspended workflow. When a workflow is suspended, orders are allowed to complete the current workflow instruction before becoming suspended. If the current workflow instruction is already a stop job, the order is suspended because of the stop job first. After the current instruction completes, the workflow suspension takes effect. If an order was added with an end position, it leaves the workflow when an end position is reached. Finally, skip job has the lowest precedence. If a job is both skipped and stopped, the stop job operation takes priority because the order is suspended before it has a chance to skip the job. In summary, we can say stop job has higher precedence, suspended workflow is applied after the current instruction completes, skip job has lowest precedence. This precedence ensures that workflow execution remain predictable even when multiple status operations are active simultaneously. Moving ahead, let's understand operations on order. Each order or each running order has its own action menu. Let's click on the three dot and open it. Following operations are available. Cancel, further moving, wait for end of task. Cancel terminates the order. And wait for end of task helps the running order completes the current job or workflow instruction before leaving the workflow with a failed history status. Then we have terminate task under cancel. This forcibly terminates order currently running a job. Order leaves the workflow with a failed history status. Moving ahead, we have suspend. Suspend places the order into suspend state. And if we choose wait for end of task, this means the running order completes the current job or workflow instruction before being suspended. We also have an option of terminate task under suspend. This forcibly terminates the running task and suspends the order. Another option under suspend is reset. This immediately resets the current workflow instruction and places the order into the suspended state. The operation can optionally terminate the running task. Now, so as to understand the resume operation, let's suspend a running order. And then click the action menu and click resume. A pop-up window appears. Let's understand why resume order option or operation is important. When an order is suspended or has failed, it can be resumed without creating a new order. Resume order dialog allows users to resume processing, modify dynamic variable if required, choose how order should continue, and even resume the order from a different position in the workflow. Each field in this also includes a tooltip that provides a quick explanation of the related option. Also, there are glossary which defines the term. Apart from the tooltips, context help represented by eye icon provides more detailed information and can guide you to the product knowledge base. Now, if you're fine with the default values, you can simply click submit to resume the order immediately. Now look at the history panel. When we select the workflow, the history panel displays three tabs. The order history tab shows recently executed orders together with their current state and execution status. Clicking an order ID opens the complete order log. The task history displays information for every executed job, including execution time and return code. Clicking the job names opens the corresponding task log. Finally, the audit log records administrative actions performed on the workflow, providing a history of operational changes. Let's look at order history in details. The order ID uniquely identifies an order. Clicking the expand icon displays the order variable and the job already passed by the order. The label indicates the latest position of the order in the workflow. If the label are assigned to the workflow instruction, those labels are displayed. Otherwise, the technical position is shown. The history status displays the latest outcome in the order's life. Completed orders are shown as successful or failed. Running orders are shown as in progress. The order state displays the latest state of the order. Completed orders shows successful or failed. Running orders show processing. Clicking the order ID opens the order log view. The download icon downloads the order log as a file. Now let's look at task history in detail. Task history displays information for each executed job. The job column displays the job name. Clicking the job name opens the task log view. The label indicates the position of the job in the workflow. The status displays whether execution is in progress, successful or failed. The start time and the end time indicate when execution began and ended. Criticality indicates the relevance of the job. Possible values are minor, normal, major or critical. The return code display the exit code of a shell job or the return code of a JVM job. Let's also look audit log in detail. Audit log displays the same information as the audit log view, but it focuses on the currently selected workflow. Audit log record administrative actions performed on the workflow, providing a history of operational changes. Moving ahead, let's understand the filters. At the top of the workflow view, several filters are available. The agent filter displays workflow containing jobs assigned to the selected agents. The synchronized filter displays workflow deployed to the controller and agent. The non-synchronized filter displays workflow available only in the inventory. Suspended filter displays suspended workflows. Outstanding filter displays the workflow waiting for the confirmation from one or more agent that the workflow has been suspended. Filter is used to filter scheduled order by a predefined time range, such as today, next hour, next 12 hour, next 24 hours for the selected workflow. Moving ahead, we have advanced filters which provide additional filtering criteria. The customization option allows users to create and save search filters for the workflow view. Give it a name filter 1, for example. In place of name or title, you can specify the regular expression folder and you can select the folder from the tree available. I'm selecting the user folder here, and you can also opt for an option of including subfolders. Here in agent, you can choose one or more agents. In the availability section, you can filter workflow based on their status, such as synchronized, not synchronized, suspended, outstanding, skipped or stopped. Click search to apply the filter. If you want to reuse the same filter later, click store as customization to save it. Apart from filtering, user has an option to view the workflow in card format. Also, select a workflow and perform an operations like add order, suspend and resume. Alternatively, user can view the workflow in tabular format. And here we come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.